Hi guys, this is Annalisa. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my forecast for the week of March 7th to the 13th. I hope you enjoy this forecast. I definitely going to enjoy doing this for you, so hopefully you'll enjoy it as well. I'm going to run through the astrology and the tarot. So I'm going to go into a little brief astrological forecasting for you, and then I'll do the cards and I will interpret everything together. This forecast is based on your sun and your rising. If you know your rising, go more by the rising. If you do not know your rising, then you focus on the sun. You know, if you're Aries sun. But if you know your rising, you focus on the rising. So I will start off with for the Aries. What does the week of March 7 to March 13 look for Aries? And I'm going to put some cards out and see how that looks. Through the week of March 7 to the 13th for Aries, the moon will be mostly on the lower part of the chart. So it looks indicative of that it's more focused on the private life, your private things, things of that nature that you keep to yourself or you deal with day to day. The Mars, Venus, and Saturn is on your social sector. That suggests to me that there is temperate love desires there. There's a steady work and partnerships with friendships. You may be alternating between hot and cold with your emotions. I'm going to put 3 cards and see what the tarot gives me more towards what is indicative for the week. So you have here the 5 of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and you have the Devil. The 5 of Pentacles to me represents that there may be things that, material things, money issues, things that you may worry about, work issues that you may have to deal with. The Page of Swords may indicate that you may be in an argument or arguments of small nature that are not important, but you know, the pressures that may be through your hidden sector, which is Jupiter, Neptune, and the Sun and the Mercury is going to go there. So your confidence may be not that high. You may be triggered by a lot of different feelings and anxieties that you may come up with, which you will be a little bit like a trigger, like things will trigger you and they will stress you out, that you may argue about meaningless things. So there may be arguments here that are not very profound, very important, but you may go into them. But then you have the Devil in the end, which means that you will have the tendencies to feel stuck, to feel oppressed, to feel like things are not going your way. Again, with the 5 of Pentacles and the Devil, you may be dealing through the week with financial issues, things that you don't have too much control over, things that are happening that you might have a very negative attitude towards them. But all in all, I do believe that it's not the worst, it's not the best week for you, but it is things that you can deal with and that you can control. It's nothing that, it may be new too. You may be dealing with things that are not new as well. So that's it for Aries Sun and Aries Rising. We now go into Taurus. The moon is in the lower part, it's running through the lower part of your chart, which represents new beginnings. The Mars, the Venus, and the Saturn is in your career sector. So that could be ambitions to achieve. You could identify with new projects, but you could also be in kind of a conflict with authority figures as well, employers and bosses and things of that nature. Also, it creates favorable circumstances for business and professional life, because all of those planets are in your 10th house. They're activating movement, they're activating action, they're activating good things and challenging things. But all in all, it represents a lot of responsibility in life at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 cards and see how it goes. So what does the week of March 7 to March 13 look for you? as a Taurus sun or a Taurus rising. You have Ten of Cups, which is upside down, and I'm going to leave it upside down. You have the World upside down as well. And you have the Ace of Wands. As the astrological aspects were telling you, it's in your 10th house. So there's a lot of go and a lot of just setting themselves back to restructuring. So there's delays. Things are going to go slow for you. But the goals and the energies are great, because the ten of Cups here is giving me an indication here of dreams and inspirations and family, and either friends at work or bosses, or everything that it is to do with your career. I do believe that you will have good cooperation, but those things may come slow in acting out. But you have the World, so you will have a new beginning, a new opportunity to create your whatever you desire to create. Sun, Jupiter, Neptune, and on the 9th Mercury will go there as well, is on that social sector. So you may feel like having fun and socializing and being with friends and examining your role in life. You know, you want to play a little bit. So there's new ambitions here. There is a Wands here as well. Tells me here that there's definitely new beginnings, and you possibly are letting go of a lot of old ways and a lot of routines or things that have not worked out for you, and you will be focusing on new energy, because there's this vibrant new energy, passionate energy that will come in, that will create that new beginning for you. There's also could be a romantic relationship here that could also be activated here in a good way, in a fun way. You may start seeing eye to eye with a partner that you may not have been, seeing eye to eye before. This may be an opportunity for you to just start a new effort, create a romance, do fun things together, socialize together, and so forth, because there will be that desire on your part to play, and to push with your hopes and ideals. So we come to the end of the Taurus Sun and Rising Sun. Now we move into Gemini Sun or Gemini Rising. The moon is in the lower part. It's running through this week through the lower part of your chart, so you're finishing up things and getting ready for new things. The Venus, the Mars, and the Saturn are in your opportunity sector. So that is more creative, intellectual work. There's a very good influence here this week for you to make some impressions, some good impressions. There may be traveling. There may be places that traveling to places that you've never been before. There may be efforts here that will bear great outcomes for you. But you have to have that structure. You have to maintain a certain structure that you may not enjoy to do so a lot of times. Let's see what the week looks for you with the Tarot. For you, Gemini, it's the King of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Fool in the end. The King of Wands upside down, that is ambitions, pushing this passion to activate serious things in life. Because the Sun, Jupiter, Neptune, and Mercury on the 9th and Mercury is a ruler of your chart. It is in the sector of career. So that tells me here that there is here perfecting your career. There's possibly opportunities that will come with your career. There is those superiors that will enjoy your work and that they will push you up in the sector of advancement in your career, because you have the Eight of Pentacles here, you have the King of Wands, and you have the Eight of Pentacles. That's you trying to perfect your tools. That's you trying to make things better, possibly get a little bit more education, possibly getting tools to apply to your career that you didn't have before. That's the King of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. But it's very focused on career here for you. Even though the Mars, the Venus, and the Saturn and the Mercury is in that opportunity sector, but the Sun and Jupiter and the Neptune is on your career sector. So I'm sensing that you may have a week that is pushing you more to take those leaps of faith, those have that adventurous side of you to go where you've never been before. And if you do that, I do feel that somehow there seems to be here great success for you and a great week here for you. That ends the rising and the sun for Gemini. We move on to Cancer rising or Cancer sun. The moon is right on up in your sun or your rising. You seem to have a moon there, and it's in Leo and Virgo. So it's putting things that's supposed to be in the past, and it's setting up for the new, whatever is coming up new. So you putting your emotions and your senses will be doing that through the week. So you have the Mars, the Venus, and the Saturn in the sector of shared resources. So either you're very giving, or you're very reserved with your resources, with your shared resources. There's a lot of focus on values, of shared values. There's also existing relationships in your life that you will have to that you may be questioned. You may question what is yours, what is mine. You may also go through that that real focus that possibly material stuff means more to you than a relationship. You may go through that. You may also go through what is your value, what is value to you. You may also go through that because the Mars, the Venus, and the Saturn will be there. So what are the cards for you this week? You have the Knight of Cups, the Two of Wands, and the Two of Cups. Sun, Jupiter, and Neptune is in the sector of opportunity. So broaden your horizons. Every way possible to study unfamiliar experiences, travel, meeting totally new people with totally different backgrounds than yours. There's also travel that may bring learning and teaching. You may go through, the Mercury moves there in the 9th, so you may go through education or look for some courses or look for something that you sense that you may need to educate yourself with, or you may need to broaden your knowledge. You have the Knight of Cups, so I sense that the week may start with you being a little bit emotional and dealing with things that are emotional for you. You may also deal with approaches of people approaching you with possibly things that you have to question, or things that you have to check the resources, or possibly not naive with the approaches that you may have. You may also have a romantic approach as well, because the Knight of Cups tells me here that there's something here that looks really good, something here that looks exciting with the Two of Wands, or something that you possibly have thought of before or wanted to go into and you never did. But the Two of Wands kind of, the Knight of Cups and the Two of Wands somehow makes you feel alive and inspired to possibly jump into something that you have thought of going into before, but you never did, but this time I might do that. Then you have the Two of Cups. So that tells me here that there's that romantic approach. There is that happiness, there's that joy, there's that balance, there's that emotional fulfillment that you may experience. That could be romantic, or it could be with things that you admire and enjoy materially in your life. So you will go through those experiences, but it doesn't look like a bad week for you. But one would be reserved to upkeep caution, that you may not play into a game, or you may not play into a situation that you may have want or may want to go into it, but you may not be totally ready to go into. So caution on that. So that comes to the end of the Cancer rising and the Cancer sun. Now we're going to start with the Leo sun or the Leo rising. The moon is situation, events that will be recognized, and there could be secrets, or you may be in a public eye, and there may come isolated things that you may not have known before. So the moon will possibly go through those revelations for you. The Mars, the Venus, and the Saturn is in the sector of partnerships, which is the Venus, especially the Venus, that's the best position for her. That could represent love affairs, that could represent partners, that could represent co-workers, that could represent open enemies. You have to somehow detach a little bit yourself a little, because you will be so much seen. Everything that you will do, everything that you may experience is like there's only a little space for you to be hidden, for you to hide from the public eye, or other people observing what you're doing. But this also can be a strong accumulation of things that you have created or produced for the last 14 years. There will be big demands on you with these aspects. But you've been experiencing for a while Saturn on your 7th house anyway, so you probably already been experiencing those things. But right now it's going to get illuminated because the Venus and the Mars are going in there. So that those kind of things are going to get heightened for you. So let me put 3 cards with the Tarot and see how, and then I'll go to the other aspects. But let me go with the 3-card reading to see what kind of a week are you going to have the upcoming week. You have the Ten of Swords, you have the Four of Wands, and you have the Judgment. So again, the Ten of Swords, open enemies, those people that may have jealousy of your success or your relationship, may get a little bit backstabbed here, because you're in your 7th, you have the Venus and the Mars and the Saturn in your 7th house. It may also be from a partner, or either business partner, romantic partner, committed partner. It may come from people close to you. So the Ten of Swords, there's a pain there. But don't worry about it, because the sun rises with the Ten of Swords. You know, it'll get better. You will go through that pain, you will go through that experience, but it's not the end of the world. You will recuperate from it. Then you have Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands, and I'll continue to read the tarot card, but Sun, Jupiter, and Neptune is in a sector of shared resources, which is a significant psychological transformation that may occur there. Challenges with values of structure. This can also be about inheritance or benefiting from other people's resources. Or entering a relationship in which you and the other person have to pull your resources together. You know, the Mercury on the 9th, it's conversation, intellectual conversation, encounters that are profound, that will have a profound effect on your mind. So the Ten of Swords, the Four of Wands, and the Judgment. I do believe that there's something here that around the house, either celebrations, either parties, either get together with family and friends, or either a house, or you may go to a party that will be very wonderful for you during the week, or experiences of that nature, or you may be dealing with renovations in the house or home. If you don't have a home, that's probably celebrations that you will be doing with friends. The judgment in the end feels to me like you're getting liberated. There seems to be here the liberation, feeling like a heaviness has lifted off your life, or have lifted off from from things that were unresolvable. Now you can resolve them, and you feel this weight off your shoulders. So this could be in a lot of areas, but because these two cards are upside down, that means that there is that kind of a connotation that these things may be slower, and they may even progress or take this thing that may take until next week, that it may prolong the outcome into the week forward. So, but all in all, you may go through a few challenges, but you will have also very deep releases that are very profound and very, very great for you. It's not a bad week. It's actually a positive week for you, despite of a few challenges. So that comes to the end of the Leo Sun or the Leo Rising. Now it's Virgo Sun and Virgo Rising. So the moon is busy. It's a busy, maybe a busy week for you here this week. It's active. It's public life. You may be out there. Everything will be there out there in the public. It's like it's a shared experiences that you may have through the week. Mars, Venus, and Saturn is on your social sector. So of work and house. So you may be enjoying a good relationship with both superiors and employees. Sun, Jupiter, and Neptune sector is in relationship house, or relationships, which is the 5th house. So you may be examining relationships with spouse to discover if it does works or it doesn't work, if it fulfills your life. You may encounter people who help you in various ways. There's this kind of assistances that you may get, especially with lawyers or doctors or consultants. So there may be help coming in through the week for you. You have the 7 of Swords, you have the 3 of Swords, and you have the Death card. So you may have a challenging week for you. Could be prevented if you so choose to. But there will be possibly secrets that will be unrevealed. Maybe parts of your life that possibly you may find out that your friend or your partner or people of that nature that you trust may betray you a little bit. Not a little bit, with the 3 of Swords there's no little bit. But you may be bleeding, but you're not dead. But you have to watch out this week for people that misguide you or tell you things that are not true. So you're going to have to be very assertive with your intellect, with your thinking, with your rationality. How do you take in whatever you're hearing, whatever they're saying? So you have to be very cautious with that. There may be situations that you may be dealing with that are maybe challenging, but yet there's a sign or indication of transformation. There may be here a transformation coming for you where things will stop being so challenging, and you may get into a space where you feel more comfortable and feel a little bit lighter and happier. But this week may show you that you may be challenged. Watch the community, watch the friends, the groups. Don't, because the moon is out there in the public life. watch whatever you put. If you do social media, watch whatever you post. Watch whatever you say out there, because it may come back to you not in a good way, not in a very positive way. So even the moon will push you into whatever you do. People will see whatever you're doing. So try to be a little bit more reserved this week. So that comes to the end of the Virgo rising and the Virgo sun. Now we move into a Libra sun or a Libra rising. So the moon is being affected. It's in kind of a space, signs that you may get affected by other people's behaviors and situations that may affect you. You may let those things get to you, more than what you should. Mars, Venus, and Saturn is in the routine sector. So above it all, there'll be a demand on you to express to others what and who you are. It may be an appropriate time for fun, entertainment, having a good time, but there has to be self-discipline. There may be a time that you have to learn about yourself. This may be a week that you may go into learning a little bit about yourself and how to express yourself. Children may be a heavy responsibility this week for some reason. Love affairs may become quite difficult. Love affairs may involve you, or the love affairs that you may deal with may involve an older person or that you're involved with, that another person that may want to act as your parent. Sun, Jupiter, Neptune, and Mercury on the work and health house. You have to examine the problems of how you should manage your life and the duties and the responsibilities that entails your life. You may improve a job situation, but you have to be especially careful with your health now, and illnesses and stuff like that. So I would focus a little bit on my health and my routines of health. I'm going to put 3 cards for you for Libra Sun or Libra Rising. The Lovers, the Two of Swords, and the World. Again, the Lovers, there'll be this community, there'll be this fun, there'll be this social environment around you this week. People will want to talk to you. You will want to talk to people. You will want to go out for lunches. You'll be having fun. A lot to do with your community, with people that you know, and having fun at it. But you may run across something or someone that may really piss you off a little bit, that could bring a little bit of arguments. But it looks like you may blindfold yourself, because the world represents other things here that are that make you inclined to just let go and have and release a lot of stress that you may have been encountering. And it's now time that you look at things that are positive, look at things that are workable for you, and release whatever doesn't work for you no more. So it's a fun week, possibly with a little bit downpouring, a little bit of relationship to others that may bring you a little bit of an argument. But all in all, Lovers and the World, that tells me here that you may have a decent week with things that are going to go well for you with work, with home, with friends, certain friends, not all friends, but certain friends, and then the week doesn't look bad at all for you. So Libra Sun or Libra Rising. Okay. Scorpio Sun or Rising. The moon, the focus is on others' resources and sharing the knowledge and also sharing the resources this week for you. Mars, Venus, and Saturn is in a domestic sector. So it's loving being at home. Usually it's a peaceful situation for you. It's quite, you may enjoy quite a little bit of time by yourself, and or either you may decide to entertain friends. There could be a lot of activity at home. You could be having different points of view with someone in the house. There could be responsibilities for some not necessarily your own children, but other people's children, or dealing with a parent, or dealing with somebody here in the home. Jupiter, Neptune, and Mercury is in the sector of recreation. You may feel more free to express yourself. Therefore, a strong drive to get out and have a good time. There's a lot of creative potential here this week for you, where you could produce work that completely expresses yourself. You know, because your Saturn, Venus, and Mars is in the home sector, you may decide to do a lot of creative things in the house. Things here with Mercury on the ninth that is going to go into that house. It expresses your thoughts, and you could have a really good week in your mind. You know, it's a creative, it's a week that you will do a lot of thinking for yourself and planning a lot of your future. So that could be a week like that. I will do the Tarot for you, for the Scorpio Sun or Scorpio Rising. I have the Justice. I have the Six of Pentacles, and I have the Eight of Swords. The Justice is, there's balance. There's good common things. The work here during the week is with balancing the home, balancing the fun, balancing your relationship, and they could have a good outcome with that. The Six of Pentacles here is, you know, there's good benefits here. There's good prosperity here. There's peace here. With the Justice and the Six of Pentacles, the life seems to be running okay through the week, where you will be financially feeling okay, where the relationship somehow seem to be balancing out. There doesn't seem to be too much out of order for you. But there could also be finalizing legal stuff that could be bringing money from some legal stuff that you may be encountering. But the Eight of Swords, you know, it's a week that you may be a lot in your mind. So try not to overthink things, and try not to create things that are not there because of the Eight of Swords. Because the Eight of Swords can create anxieties and overthought that will create that internal struggle of the soul. So try not to do that through the week. Otherwise, we are done for the Scorpio Rising and the Scorpio Sun. We are moving into the Sagittarius Sun or Rising. The Moon is on the phase of asserting a new connection. So you're in those houses that may push you to assert new connections. Venus, Mars, Saturn is on a social sector, which will affect your everyday surroundings and activities. More pleasant and agreeable social life that you may have. Get together with friends, neighbors, or whoever you decide to get with. There's considerable danger or conflict with immediate neighbors or relatives that or people that you may encounter daily, people that you deal with every day. There may be a few disagreements and differences of opinions and so forth. So you may have to watch your everyday mental patterns. I do feel that you will need that little space to change those patterns, and if you do, it will work out greatly for you. I'm going to put 3 cards for the Sagittarius Sun or the Sagittarius Rising. 2 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, and 10 of Wands. The Sun, Jupiter, Neptune, and Mercury will be in that social sector. So attention is on the people you deal with every day, of course, friends and so forth. So But these relationships that are important in your life, you know, you have to watch your habits of communication, because you might just piss off somebody, and that will accelerate things that you may not want to deal with, or you may not want to confront. So you have to somehow watch the communication through the week, because I do believe that a lot of times you may feel a little bit, your mind is a little bit foggy. You may not have things all totally in a clear, so you will be very involved in things that are everyday things that you need to resolve, your community, your siblings, and so forth. There may be extended travel that may be necessary for some reason. You may be doing some writing as well, or because the Sun, the Jupiter, Neptune, the Mercury, and the Moon, and the Mars and Saturn are affecting you very strongly. You may also have to deal with family, personal family. You may also have to deal with things of the nature of surgeries, or doctors, or your car, or things of that nature that you may not deal with every day, but they're things that you use every day. So those are also there. The Two of Pentacles, you're juggling things. You're trying to be practical. You're trying to create an environment that is balanced. You may be dealing with one too many things, one too many situations that you need to be grounded, and you need to put that extra effort and work into it. The Nine of Pentacles, you know, you will need a little bit of time here to recover. You will need a little time here to get away from all of these issues, the community, the friends, the work friends, the work and family. You will need, and it looks like you may do it, you may take some time to just take care of yourself, recuperate, get some healing, go to a spa, go do all of those things. It's self-care, a lot of self-care here that you will have to do through the week too. If you don't do that, then the Ten of Wands, if you can keep up that pace that you may have, because there's a lot of input coming into the week, you may be oppressed. You may create that space where you feel that it's one too many things to handle, and you will overwork yourself, and you will overburden yourself. So that's the end of Sagittarius Sun or Sagittarius Rising. We are now going to Capricorn Sun or Capricorn Rising. The moon is in a very personal time, time where work and evaluation is taking place. Venus, Mars, and Saturn possessions, they're in your second house sector, they're in your assets, they're in your possession, either be personal, money, or people. Financial opportunities may come up. Some difficulties may also arise. You may become very touchy about your beliefs, opinions, and desires, and so forth in some areas, and get into arguments about their merit of worth. You may get into arguments with a partner, if you have a partner, what are they contributing, because you may put a lot of value on your possessions, and you may go through that assessment that, you know, the possessions is who you really are, but that's not true. But you may go through that, because Mars and Venus and the Saturn will go through that. You may also you know, some people will go through that, could go through that financial loss or poverty. Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury are in your social sector, so attention is on people you deal with every day, friends and neighbors and relatives, because that's the third house. Look at how you handle these relationships and how you communicate as well. You will also have that boundless. You may have a friend that will be very inclined, or friends that may be very inclined to just help you out, and because the Jupiter is there, the Sun is there. Hermit, World, and Two of Pentacles. That sounds like a Capricorn. The Hermit here is, I feel that there should be a lot of internal analyzation that may go through the week for you, because the Hermit is, you will feel like you're isolated, or you may feel like you're in this space where you're not seen. You may feel like you're not heard because it's upside down there. So you may feel like even though you want to be out there and be socializing, but at the same time there's that confinement there for some. But the world somehow, again, like I said, there could be a very beneficial week for you as well, where you activate a lot of benefits here from people around you, from work, from investments, or siblings, or whatever you have around you that you deal with every day, because it could be a very prosperous, fulfilling week for you. Work seems to be fine if there was, or your career seems to be going according to what it should be. So you may have a good week with your career and your work. Okay. So that's the end of Capricorn Sun or Rising. Aquarius Sun or Aquarius Rising. This week it looks like it's a great time. It feels like you will feel like you're a magnet. People will be attracted to you. You will be like in this space where a lot of enjoyment, a lot of fulfillment comes to you. Before you may have felt like you were isolated. Now you're in this vigor, prosperous, happy time where you are really, you have more energy. You're creating this smooth kind of a environment for yourself where people just want to do things for you. People are just surrounding themselves around you. So it's a very good week to attract what you want, attract people, attract money, attract whatever you want. Anything to flourish, that will be your week. Sun, Jupiter, Neptune, and Mercury is in your personal resources. So possessions. This may be a time where you need more security, or you feel like you need more possessions, or whatever you have is not enough. There could be a lot of material resources coming up. This could be a fortunate time for you to go into the real estate and really gain a lot of monetary gain for yourself this week. So it's a very good week as well for the business and commercial affairs. So it's a very prosperous week for you. It's a very high week for you. Okay, let's see what the Tarot says. You have Nine of Swords. You have the Star. And you have the Three of Wands. As I said, the Nine of Swords, you may have been feeling isolated, but now you like this butterfly coming out of the cocoon, where things look more hopeful. As before, you were having sleepless nights and anxieties. There may also, with the Nine of Swords, there may be also still things here that are not the best in the best form. There is here the Nine. There's a lot of accumulation of things that cannot be resolved this week. But your attitude and your behavior and your emotions may be hopeful and high, and you may be more joyful. You may have more faith in yourself, in life, and so forth. So, and because things are coming to you as opportunities. The Three of Wands, which this week will leave you quite passionate about the future. And you may have new venues or new things that were not there before. Relationships too seems to also be easing up a little bit. Communication with others may be easing up a little bit too. Okay, that's the end of Aquarius Sun and Rising. Pisces Sun or Pisces Rising. This week the moon is in the upper side, so everything that there's nowhere you can hide. So every activity is out there, either through work, through resources, other people's resources, through friendships. So you'll be very much out there in activity mode. where you're finishing off something and you beginning another. Venus, Mars, and Saturn, they're in your private sector, which means that there is that space there where you have to watch hidden things. You also have to watch hidden enemies. You also may have the potential of experiencing just this space where you're giving unconditional attention or love to people who don't deserve, so you have to watch that. People may come out of the woodwork, situations or events may come out of the woodwork that you were not expecting. So Saturn has been there for a while, but especially if you're Pisces rising, not so much Pisces sun, but Pisces rising. So Saturn has been restructuring your private sector, where you have to make certain changes, and Venus and Mars goes in there this week, so it emphasizes that. So you may have to change the way things are being done. Sun, Jupiter, Neptune, and Mercury are in your sun or ascending sun, in your first house, in your personal sun, in your personal house. So that's a lot of good things, fun, enjoyment. Just watch what you eat too, because the Jupiter you could have this desire and flavor for life that you may overeat, and you know what overeating does? It expands. So you got to watch that. Neptune, you may just want to escape to some fantasy place where you just connect with nature. You connect with drama or film or just a little bit of adventure where you can escape the realities of what you've been dealing with. Okay? Not bad. You have the Four of Cups, you have the King of Cups, and you have the Knight of Cups. You may have this romantic approach, or somebody's been trying to invest in you, trying to give you attention of some kind, but you may be rejecting, you may have been rejecting those approaches. So there may be a little bit of a stagnation of you trying to take your time to make your decisions, and so there's that emotional that you just want to escape to the fantasy land. You just want to escape to that space where you don't want to deal with reality, you don't want to deal with people. The Four of Cups, and whatever situation you may have been dealing before, you maybe get sick of it and you don't want to deal with it this week. But the King of Pentacles tells you here that you have commitments, you have obligations, you have work to do and stuff, and things of that nature that you have to accomplish. That those commitments, those things that actually pay your bills and stuff like that. So you may be pushed to activate those commitments. But the Page of Cups here, again, I just want to go party, I just want to dream a little bit, I just want to have fun, I don't want these heavy obligations on me. Let me just venture off and escape with a lover or escape with a partner, and possibly have this kind of a honeymoon kind of a thing. So it's a week that you have commitments, you have obligations, but yet you don't want to deal with them. You just want to escape to a fantasy space, a good time. Okay, that ends Pisces Sun and Pisces Rising. So this is the end of our forecast for the week of March 7th to the 13th. I hope you watch, I hope you enjoy it, I hope it makes sense for you. But you have to understand that these are general readings, you know. Some things will click with you, others won't. If I look at astrologically, especially if you know your ascending sun, whatever I said astrologically should make some sense in your life. If you want a private consultation with myself, my email will be below, and you can email me, and we can have a one-to-one consultation together. Stay tuned, and I hope you watch my next posting, which will be the week following. Namaste, and have a wonderful week. See you next week, guys. I hope the week goes well for you.